Oh, there's one in here actually. Do you
Yeah.
get many alarm calls from the robots, John?
We'll put it back to John.
That's a question that would be asked quite regularly. I would like to think that we have a fairly good morning and evening routine. We wash the robots both morning and evening and give a bit of time checking it over, do our calibrations, change the liners when we're supposed to, and keep cows' tails clipped and others singed. So as a result of having a good morning routine, we don't get a lot of alarm calls. Our level of alarm calls have reduced every year from the start. The first year we would have got quite a few starting off. But I would be very quick to say that the morning, or like if you get into a bad routine, or the morning that you don't do the proper cleaning or you don't do enough calibration, that's the time that you're going to get your alarm calls. So like once you keep on top of cleanliness and keeping the cows right, generally speaking, your level of calls will be quite low.
Yeah, it's a good answer, John. It's a question that we're asked an awful lot, and as John said, a robot works on the principle of doing a little bit with it often. And if you give that detail in the morning, we see John's a very methodical farmer. We've got a lot of methodical farmers that have good routines morning and evening, and that should cut out, I would say, 90% of the alarms, 95%. There's another question in there. Do you milk record? Do you milk record, or is it only with the robot? So, yeah, do you do other milk recording, or is it just robot, John?
It's just with the robots now. When we had the A4s, we had milk recording shuttles, and we milk recorded at the start, but we kind of found it was almost double jobbing. When we were looking for information on cows, we were going to the T4C as opposed to the milk recording results. And what we're doing now is every time we get a text message back from the creamery, we're inputting that in those percentages back into the computer, and that will keep the figures for fat and protein. So the figures from the creamery almost calibrate the T4C. So to be honest, we don't milk record now anymore. We're just relying solely on the figures from the robot.
And just on that, did you use cell counting for selective dry off or anything like that, John, at any stage? A lot of our customers.
We're only doing a very, very small amount of selective trichotherapy. Obviously, it is something that will come down the line in the future, and we will be forced to do more of it. But definitely having a cell count reading pretty much from every day, we would feel is almost a better tool than having a cell count reading from once every 8 weeks. So I think we'd be in a position to make fairly good selective trichotherapy decisions, really.
Just another question in there, John. It's just, you said about a morning routine. What is your morning and evening routine, and how long do they take roughly?
Well, to go through the full morning routine, so you get up, and I tend to go down to A block and change the fence, but walk from there to B block and change the fence there. So like that's depending on how far the paddocks are, that's your first 30 minutes work. Come to the robots then, and you kind of stop the 3 robots and wash the arms, have a check that the ration is working correctly, have a quick walk around just to make sure everything's all right, that there's nothing out of line. So to be honest, we'd probably give 30 minutes at the robot each morning. 20 minutes would do, but between giving the 5 minutes at the computer. So that's pretty much our morning routine, and go ahead in at other jobs for the rest of the day and change the fence then in the evening time, and maybe another 10 minutes, just a quick wash around the computer and a quick check over, and just check the figures on the computer again.
Another question in there. Have you fat and protein each day?
Yeah, so the T4C maybe, and Andrew can talk a bit more about that, but every day it is testing the fat and protein, and as I said, putting in the results back from the creamery, from the bulk tank, putting those into the T4C every day. It almost helps to calibrate it, so we find the results are quite good.
Yeah, so I suppose the fat and protein is measured at each milking, so it'll give you an indication of those both on the herd level and on an animal level. And then each time you get a test done from your tank sample, you enter that information into T4C, and as John said, that allows T4C to calibrate. And if you do that, it will keep it reasonably accurate. If you've got cows milking to say even just 2 times a day, you're looking at 600 tests, over lactation. So it's it can be quite accurate. It'll give you a very good indication of what's going on a day-to-day basis.
One question coming in there: what do you think is the most useful bit of information you get from the robot?
I suppose those 2 pieces of information that I like the most: the conductivity and the monitoring of the milk yield every single day. As I said in the video there, if you have a cow, a high yielding cow, doing whatever 35, 40 kilos or 40 plus, if she's under any sort of pressure at all, she will drop to 10 or 12 litres, so straight away. And then the conductivity is very, very good. It'll direct you to which quarter might be in trouble. So I think those 2 facts, or those 2 pieces of information, are the best.
Just to explain to people that, look, it takes a lot of measurements every day. So you got protein, you got butter fat, you got cell count, conductivity, color of milk, and the temperature of the cow. But you don't have to go searching through lists of cows to find it. It'll just, if there's any cow on it, I presume on the first reports you use is the health report 10 on it, John.
Yeah.
So there could be 2 cows, 3 cows, no cow on it, depending if there's a cow with an issue. So you don't have to go through all the cows to find the sick cow. They will tell you the sick cow. Correct? Is that how you find it, John? Or
absolutely. When you sit at the computer every morning, you just go to report 10, and that's any cow that might have an issue, and that's what you look at. And usually after that, then I'd go on to just have a quick overview of the entire herd and just quick rundown through what the cows are doing, and that's pretty much the morning routine on the computer.
There's a question in there: would Lily trade in a milking parlor? Answer is we don't do milking parlors. All we do is robotic milking. We don't take them as trade-ins. What is the value of a second-hand A4 robot when traded against a new A5? We have a second-hand robot there for sale in the center at the moment, and a refurbed robot, which $70 we'd be looking for around 85,000 for that robot. So if anybody's looking at that, they can contact us here.
Just something I'd like to pick up on as regards the heat detection. We went to ID only collars. I have spent time looking at a new generation of heat collars, and the way we have the new robot set up, we can very easily put on a heat detection system onto it, and it would be something I might consider in the future, just from a safety point of view. If you could do your 12 to 15 weeks of AI and have no stock pull in the place, it certainly would make the place a bit safer. So it's not as if I can't go heat detection in the future, and it is something I might look at into the future. But I would only look at a full heat detection system if I was to get rid of the stock pulls completely.
Yeah, it's a simple retrofit to put a heat detection on any robot. So you don't have to buy it with the robot's first day. It's not mandatory. We do sell it to quite a few customers, but indeed, it's something you can add on afterwards if you want. Okay, it's nearly 9 o'clock. I think if that's all the questions, I'd just like to thank the Casey family in Clyne, John and Sean, for opening up their farm in this way. They've always been great supporters of us here at the centre, and they've always been great to take somebody who's interested in learning about robotic milking to have a look at their system. It's working very well down there in Clyne. I'd like to thank the team here at Mitchelstown for putting it together. Thank you very much, and thank everybody for joining us this evening. And we hope we can see you all in the flesh someday. We're looking to go back to maybe on-farm open days in July. Should COVID, I think COVID regulations nearly have us at that point now. So just watch our social media for an in-person open day on farm. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.